So it's so
love
crazy
those
because
breaths?
it's so crazy because when it's my turn to bring the topic, I'm like, I know Sophia's gonna ask me how I'm doing. What am I gonna say? How am I feeling? I don't know.
So, I'll say something that I share with people myself when they say that they don't know. You always know, right? So take a breath and see what comes up.
So there's a lot of things.
Okay.
Emotional.
Okay. Look at that. So stop
That's what it
saying
is.
you don't know, right?
It's emotional. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your daughter, go ahead. Just go for it.
That is the one, man. My baby gonna be 9 in a few days. Yeah.
So the thing is that makes me crazy is I'm emotional. Like, you know how people say like, oh, birthdays, their kids' birthdays. I get really emotional with certain kids, like, because I feel like I have been a part of the parenting, rearing community village. You know what I'm saying?
The journey.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Boom, boom, boom. How come you don't have that?
We didn't.
We didn't ask for that, right?
That's what you call a spoiled kid.
Exactly,
Go.
right? Exactly. Like he should have known. I want to say boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So it's a big deal for me too. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And so, yeah, I was sharing with Sophia, this is my emotional moment. I don't know if any of our listeners followed the Jackson family values. Real quick, the little boy Judah, last year, it's a family of 3 kids, and Judah was the youngest. And about a little over a year ago, they were like swimming
At a lake.
Yeah. And it was an accident where, he was without oxygen, and it had very, very negative effects on his body. And I watched this mom just like, I'm not even going to say kill herself, because that's not what I'm going to call it. She did the mom thing. And I'm not taking anything away from her husband either.
Yeah.
But as this mom has vlogged their journey and the way that she has taken care of him, and just maybe 4 or 5 days ago, she posted how he was off of all of medications. There were no incidents. He was doing really well. He was in school. And then a couple of days later, he just was gone. And she was like just very, very hard on herself. Like, I tried, I did my best. And, I felt for that mom. And even though the circumstances were very different with our children, I know what it feels like to be in a position where you're watching your child and there's nothing you can do but give them your love.
Yeah, that's making me emotional.
And so
hit corners.
So when I look at my kid at 9 years old, and I think because she's 9 and people see her and they're like, Journey is such this character and she's just this bright light and all of these things, they don't really understand where that kid came from.
Yeah.
And how this kid's story was, to a lot of people, supposed to look a whole lot different. And even somebody sent me a picture of her from her first birthday party, and she had the oxygen hanging. She was so little, she couldn't walk. She didn't walk for a whole nother year. You know what I mean? And so, at 9 is a blessing for us.
Yeah.
And so we celebrate every birthday. We celebrate every birthday really, really big. She doesn't know that she's having this big party because she's been being a fucking 9-year-old and getting on my nerves.
Oh, man, she's been on the road with getting our E on YouTube before me. I just want you guys to realize that.
But yes, the party is not intended to be a surprise, but
it looks like she hasn't quite deserved it right now.
But she's so funny. She's so funny because this morning she was like, "Oh, are you gonna meditate this morning?" I was like, what? She was like, you know that guy Sean you meditate with? He's like, join me Friday mornings. I just died laughing like, girl, I can't stand you.
She is a character, but such a blessing.
Yes. So.
All right. That was, I wasn't going there this morning, but you know, I just feel it in space. I just know you, so I knew it was brewing. Yeah. So let's just go with our topic.
Yes.
What you got for us?
All right. So we here and we're you know how we do. We be at the emotional side. Now we jumping. So Sophia has not said this about me in a really long time, but I do not know what's happening in Ratchet World, and
I mean,
a lot, often.
Because I haven't said it because you've been showing something a little different. So at one point I wanted to say, are you getting fucked by a hood dude or something? Because the reference has been crazy. Real quick, one night we went out and I had on some like liquid leatherish kind of pants and this kind of print Versace-ish looking thing, but my natural hair was out, curled like pin. And, you know, I had some jewelry on, like acting like I'm outside, right? I walk up. I got to say Suge. I can't even say Dr. L with this. She said, oh, you giving me rock vibes. So I'm like, rock like who? Wait a minute. I know you're not talking about 50 Cent show. Rock like, what's the name of it? Because I'm
Canaan. Raising Canaan.
I'm so in BMF right now. So I'm like, wait.
I've been watching BMF.
I'm like, you talking about Raising Canaan, Raquel? She was like, yeah, but saying it regular, like, I couldn't, but it took her forever for us to get her to watch Ghost. Like, so.
Oh,
Power, there you go.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, it threw me for a loop. I promise you. I had a whole glass of champagne and still was laughing in my head that she said I was giving her rock vibes.
I said, you giving me rock vibes. And she was like, what? And now in my mind, I'm like, don't fucking tell me you ain't seen this. She's asking me the same question, but yeah, she was absolutely giving. Yeah,
so I mean, her references has been a little like, oh, okay, but you know, people evolve. Like, so tell me what this ratchet topic is about.
So it's not ratchet, and so last weekend, Summer Walker dropped her album "Still Over It."
Still over it,
and the internets went berserks.
It really did.
It really did go berserk. And the consensus was the thing that put me or made me go listen to it was somebody saying, shit, Summer Walker done triggered some shit I thought I healed from. And I said, now I got to go and listen to this. And yes, she did. She triggered me too.
Really?
She triggered me. I'll tell y'all later what song triggered me.
Mm-hmm.
But so background story about Summer Walker. Summer Walker's dude, London on the Track.
Oh, London on the Track.
That's her dude. Yeah, well, that was her dude. That's where all of this stuff comes from.
Yeah, got you. His beats are good.
Okay. So backstory is that's her dude. He have 3 other baby mothers. He's not really involved with his other kids. She got baby mama drama with the 3 kids, but she feels like she's been like trying to bring everybody together. Fast forward a little bit, she gets pregnant and
now she's the 4th baby mother.
She's the 4th baby mother.
Hence the song. Okay.
Hence the song. She's the 4th baby mother and the baby mother shit has happened to her. Right? And so now she's gotten a whole album about just being over it and still
over it.
Being over it. We're going to go through, but you've listened.
So I did, right? So it was definitely, you know, every now and then people will put whoever's hot out, if Meek Mill, but the Summer Walker caught my attention because it was, sad to say, almost like a rest in peace kind of thing. Like everybody knew.
Everybody.
It was guys, chicks. Okay, but I do want to say the guys were so funny because it was like bitch, stop. You gonna still be messing with the same baby father you with. Don't let Summer Walker get you fucked up. So I was very into the guy's post. But then I was in Chicago and I had some downtime and I was like, let me go and play this. I usually cannot play any album straight through. I'm just not
Okay.
sedentary
Mm-hmm.
enough to get the whole thing. So I had to listen to it in pieces. So I have completed the album. I'm so proud of that.
I'm proud of you. That's good. And so what I want to do with this album is we're going to walk through the stages of a relationship.
Oh, wait a second. There's got to be something here for me to use. Like,
Yo, put your glasses on because you got to be faster with it.
Yeah.
Try next time, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
But we don't have doom, 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 doom.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's what I was going to say. Doom, 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 doom.
All right. And so we're gonna kind of go through and we're going to break down and we're gonna talk about, discuss, process the stages of a relationship.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh, that's
All right.
we need to make sure that, I mean, we usually listen to our episodes anyway, but there's going to be some definitions in this one that's going to be on another piece of apparel, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
You need a pencil and paper?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I give you one. So anyway, all right. So let's start out with my girl Sierra.
The Russell Wilson prayer?
It's Sierra's prayer. It's not Russell Wilson's prayer.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Sierra's prayer for Russell that manifested Russell Wilson.
So Sierra came out and Sierra has a prayer on the album. And she is praying to Jesus. And Sierra is saying, you know, I've been hurt. I know it's some purpose behind this hurt. I'm trying to trust you. This don't feel good. But Lord, please let the next man I meet be my husband. Mm-hmm. She then went on to add, let him lead me, let him guide me, let him love me.
Let him hold me.
Let him hold me, protect me. And she was very specific about that, what she wanted.
Yes, very, very.
Right? So, Sophia, I have so many people who come in my office and even just some of my friends, and we talk, and friends who are not in relationships, they struggle with, should I be looking for my person, or is my life, they're never asking, should I wait? It's either, should I be looking for my person, or am I never just going to have a person? And should I just be this free-spirited jump off for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
As relationships start, where do they start? How do they start? How do you make them start?
Oh, okay. I mean, it's kind of not really two-sided. I was about to say it's two-sided. Let me don't say it's two-sided. I feel like you attract everything, right? So what's in your mind, what's in your being, that's what you pull forth. So even when people are saying, how do I always attract people like this? And it's like, you so busy not wanting to have a relationship like your mother, and you haven't healed from that. That's what you are attracting until you heal that, right?
I wasn't ready.
Okay. Yeah, right. So we get to play with that. So I'm clear in the lessons of the people that I've attracted. We attract. We know these laws of attraction, law of mind and action, but we really don't know the power. Like, and that's why I do like social media. It's kind of this, they're open to this new thought age. So we use in manifestation and, you know, what I'm intentional about it. And that's cool. And I like it, right? But I just want to make sure that people are using it and really understanding the truth of your power. So what you are thinking, what you are feeling, what you are so quick to say what you don't want, you are going to attract it because that's what you're vibrating in. So when I say like, it's two parts, it's really not two parts. We are attracting what is already within us. Something for us to clear up, something for us to learn. Like, so Sierra's prayer, what gave it chills, it's not a Russell Wilson per se. What gave it chills is, one, she was very specific about what she needed, but also being clear about where she was. That it feels heavy, it feels dark, and show me how to believe in love again. Like, so we talk about this relationship with someone higher than you, but you kind of forget that you have the creator and then you are the co-creator.
Mm-hmm.
That's why religion gets funky, right? Because sometimes religion teach us like God is up here and we're like these little peons, like, please come on, talk to me. Opposed to spirituality kind of teach you are one. I am that I am, right?
Yes.
I am a part
Yes.
of everything that the universe, high being, whatever embodies. So what was so deep about her prayer was that, like, calling out, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm willing to do, but this is what I'm asking for. So it's like, this is what I want, and I'm letting it go. So back to that, what do I do? Do I go out and seek it, or am I just going to be this free-spirited, jump off, or whatever word you had just used, right? But it's like, no, I'm going to make the request specifically. I set the vision.
It's the specific for me.
Exactly.
And so let me interject. And I think that when I'm talking to people who are thinking and who are desiring relationships and even marriages and forevers and stuff like that, the people are very quick to say what I don't want.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the whole thing.
And so you listing the 5 things that you don't want could get you a whole lot of shit you never knew you didn't want.
Exactly.
Right? And so,
or even the very thing that you keep saying you don't want.
Or when you get the thing that you want, you can't recognize it.
Exactly. Because you're so busy waiting for what you're saying you don't want to come up.
Exactly. And
I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. What the fuck? Like, yo, I swear them little colloquial statements drive me crazy. I'm just waiting for it's too good to be true. Why? Why you don't think you worth this?
Right.
Why you think this is too good to be true? No, this shit is true because this is what you created because you the shit.
Right. Right.
Maybe that's the definition, right?
Yeah. Right. And so, it definitely was the specificity for me in Sierra's prayer. I guess that for a lot of us, and for Sierra, obviously, she had to go through a lot of pain before she was able to really seek that which she wanted, right? And so it's very unfortunate. I think a lot of people get stuck there in that pain. Because
pain is uncomfortable.
Pain
really is.
Pain is really uncomfortable.
You know the stuff, right? Like, I know I'm gonna come out of this. I know this is gonna make me stronger. You know that, but in it, you feel like, when is that going to come? When is the sun going to come?
The waiting is the uncomfortable part.
Yeah.
Waiting is very, very uncomfortable, whether you're waiting for ice cream or if you're waiting for your forever.
So imagine waiting in pain. So just waiting on a line is annoying, but waiting while someone has possibly hurt you or the relationship ended unexpectedly. Now you're watching them create something that you desire.
Absolutely.
So you're waiting in the midst of that. That just kind of couples the anxiety, sadness, all those feelings.
All of it. And so, I'm a Peloton person. And one of my favorite instructors, I know a lot of people said that she's a little too soft, but she is my vibe. And her name is Allie Love.
Okay.
Right? And she's very like Alicia Keys vibes, like really just like mellow and whatever. She doesn't do a whole lot of hollering.
Pump it up.
Yeah, that's not my thing, right? And so I was doing a ride with her last week, and she was talking about this was her 5th year with Peloton, and she wanted her songs reflected the things that she learned about herself in those 5 years. And one of the things that she said that gave me chills was, she said, I learned to love and to love deeply, regardless of the pain that was possibly on the other side of that love.
Yeah.
it does not matter what might be on the other side of this risk that you're taking.
That's the word right there for me, risk. I always remind people it's a risk.
Everything is a risk.
You take a risk. That's always my argument, where it's like, I don't want to risk that anymore. You took a risk getting in a car today. People die more by automobile in spite of COVID. People still die by automobile accidents higher than fucking COVID or any other thing.
Yes.
So it's like, you took a risk when you got in a car. You took the risk leaving out the house. You took a risk eating some shit that we really don't know where it was manufactured.
Absolutely.
So how come this risk is different?
Because the emotional pain is often harder to experience. And so, as you know, this Sierra's prayer to me is about, it's about, what do you want that relationship to look like?
Yeah. Envision it. Allow yourself to daydream sometimes.
People that's the problem with adults. They don't got no fucking imagination.
Shit, you better watch some Disney ones. You could join me. We could do a screen thing. I'll Disney you to fucking death. Like, allow yourself to dream. Because again, that's what you'll bring forth.
Yes. Yes.
People always say things. I read a quote the other day, like, the universe is on your side, right? So constantly what you are saying, that's what the universe is going to give you. So if you constantly, I don't want a guy who do this, I don't want a chick that's like that, the universe is saying, because the universe don't really hear negatives. So it's not hearing the I don't. This is what you're saying. Oh, that's what you're asking for, because that's what you're spending most of your time on.
So let's put these things out into the world positively. And so everybody on the memes and stuff was just saying, oh, I'm about to memorize this prayer by the end of the day. Right? And then you have other people taking it to the serious side. Well, that's for her and you got to get your own prayer. I'm like, shut up. Do what you mix this up however you want to mix it up. Yes. The point is, take it as a model of setting your intentions and putting them out there. Yes. It's not about praying to Jesus. It's about putting out there what it is that you want and learning to become familiar with what it is that you want, not just focusing on what you don't want.
Exactly. The same way that y'all use these cute affirmations, make this one. Make this one of your affirmations where you almost saying this prayer, and you could revise it. It don't got to be 2 minutes long, but you can revise it, but you hitting those pointers of just what it is that you want. Yeah, it was powerful. It was, I do agree with, people saying that that's her prayer, right? What you could feel the pain that she experienced. Somebody else may look something else, but it does give a very good frame for you to say, okay, this is where I need to be. That specific, besides just saying, protect me.
Yeah.
No. I want somebody to be gentle with my heart.
Yeah. I like that. And so, after the connection comes, you may find yourself in a relationship, right? And so then that takes me to broken promises, right? And so broken promises, Summer Walker, she goes on and on about say what you mean.
Yes.
Do what you say.
Yes. That came to me. I listened to that one last night. That was my last 5.
Okay.
Yes.
Say what you mean. Do what you say. Don't keep selling me these dreams. People were telling me so many things about you, but I was saying no, not my man. No, not my man.
Yes, you can't tell me nothing about my man.
Don't tell me nothing about my man. And your words have just wilted away.
Yeah.
Right. And so to me, what this is a reflection of, it ends up being a reflection of disappointment, a reflection of, now what do I do? Because I'm finding myself in a relationship where it feels like words meant nothing. and where am I supposed to go from here, because you said. And oftentimes I get in these conversations with people, and it could be about anything. We can say to our kids something, and they're like, well, you said.
Yeah.
And when we don't feel like we are receiving what we have been, quote unquote, promised, what we have been presented with, then what? Because now she's in a place where she's like, what do I do? Because here I am. I love you. I want you. Am I supposed to keep like sticking up and sticking and staying, as they say? Or do I walk away?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people find themselves at the intersection of, what do I do when I'm not getting what I thought I was going to get out of this?
Yeah. So for me, my allergies is bad. I haven't been able to. First of all, most of the drugstores are sold out of Zyrtex and Claritin D. So it's clear that it's just not me that's suffering. Like the lady said, we have this off brand, but it's only 5. I wanted to say, what the fuck am I going to do with 5 pills?
How many you got to take?
I mean, 1 a day, but that's only 5 days. That wasn't even the whole week. But it's bad, so I sound all raspy.
Why don't you schedule a Reiki session with me?
Okay.
And we can try to clear out some of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
When I've done some work, I feel like
Y'all see how we digress? John, I
Exactly.
said I took my meds today.
I didn't. But every time I have to clear my throat, I sound like I was about to sing a rap song. But going back to that, right, about the broken promises, it's, for one, all right, you know, it's the real therapist for the culture, right? So we talking about Summer Walker, but it's never really about what we talking about. But it's, the issue is never the issue. The issue is how I respond to the issue, right? So it's like these broken promises, a lot of times it's triggering something for me of that disappointment and things like that. So usually I'm going to respond based off of what that is doing to me. So one, I just need to be aware of that. You know, is this person not keeping their word, or am I holding them to have these expectations that they're not able to live up to? So one, you need to be clear about that. Right? Because sometimes you could say you're not keeping your word, and it's like, well, when did I ever say that that's what I was going to do anyway?
Yeah.
Because we've been moving a certain way. You started to create your own vision of how this is going. We in a relationship per se, or because I did that for 2 weeks straight. Now I got to do this every 2 weeks now. So some of it is the discernment with you. And that's why it is about relationships, but every relationship comes back to you, right? So it's like, are these my expectations I'm placing on others? Or is this truly, what's the facts here? Is this truly, this person is saying one thing and not living up to it, right? And then if it is the latter, that these are things that they're saying and they're not living up to it, now it goes back to me, right? What decisions I have to make. Because who comes first here? Where I got to take precedent. I have to decide what that looks like, right? And again, what we've talked about on our show so many times before, that setting boundaries and choosing you doesn't necessarily mean you got to cut this person off forever. But what it may look like is I'm not available every time you available now. I may not just be able to just say, oh, your grandmother having something. Oh, I'm coming in and I'm going to pick the cupcakes up for you and I'll grab the plates. I may not do all of that anymore because I feel like it's not being reciprocated.
We'll get there.
Oh, that's another song. Sorry.
We're going to get there.
Okay. So boundaries and choosing you, again, doesn't necessarily mean that you still can't have a relationship or connection with this person. So a lot of times for me, when it comes to the broken promises, is one, not getting caught up in the victimhood, right? This person did this to me.
Yeah.
I got to look at me here and see how I'm showing up. Is this mirroring sometimes that I'm not keeping my word? I said, I'm going to suck your dick every Tuesday, and it's been 2 Tuesdays that has gone by and I haven't. You know, even though it may seem like, oh, that's so mild compared to such and such. No. Broken promises is broken promises.
Absolutely.
Right? So again, I feel like the first thing about any broken promises is starting with you. looking at you and really dissecting it, what we call like a camera shot versus just my perception of it. People feel that the perception is the fact. No, no, no. It's your opinion. It's your judgment, but it's not the fact.
So let me tell you, this is where I have a problem with that.
Go with that.
So I'm not a very black and white, and I got on black and white today.
Mm-hmm. So I'm already saying you're lying.
You know I'm the grayest person you know, right?
That is true in many, many areas.
And so I am not a very black and white person. But when you say that, or when we encourage somebody not to get caught up in their perceptions, then that means that some definition needs to occur. And then that puts us into the black and white. And I'll disclose, right? And so in a previous relationship of mine, some years ago, you get, my friends know that I could just be like, I don't know about this. And my friends might say, sure, just go with it. And so in finding yourself just trying to go with something and you don't know what's happening and you see all of these things happening and you're like, what the fuck is this? Why did this happen? Wait a minute. This is moving too fast. And when I got overwhelmed with what was happening because it was happening too fast for me, and I asked, what is this? And just by me asking the question to a man, what is this? They got real fucking scared and just did a whole 360 because it's like, what do you mean? What is this? We just chilling. What the fuck does chilling mean? Mm-hmm. Right? And so when you get into those spaces where it's like, I know none of the difference between any of these things I'm about to list. I don't know what any of these fucking things mean. Talking, dating, hanging out with, exclusively dating.
Add situationship to that. That's one I don't know. I know those ones, but I don't know situationship a lot of times.
Situationship. Oh, we just friends? That's my friend. So all of these things apparently mean something different.
Right. And they should, right? So you just named 6 different things, right? So just
relationship archetypes or something?
Right. So it's like just like what we just said about Sierra's prayer, or I was saying that it still needs to be individualized to some extent. So my talking may not look like you're talking. And
that's where the problem lies.
Right. But my thing is, and I'm coming for females particularly, because I feel like sometimes we do this a little bit more than men, that it's going with the flow when you don't want to go with the flow. There are some people that's like, all right, I'm going with the flow because that's the intention that I said. I don't want to be in a relationship, but I do want to have access to a person for whatever reasons when I want to. And then there's some that's like, no, I don't want to go with the flow, but I am because I think that he does, right? So we stop having conversations with people, and not so much. So men are, and and I'm laughing because I started rereading Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And it was a reminder. I read it in college as a recommendation, but seeing it again is hilarious how we are just so interconnected and they are just very straight. Like, this is it and this is that. But so asking questions like, what is this, is just that typical kind of statement that's like, what? But being specific with saying what it is that you want. Because even if you say it now at 6 months versus a year, if that's not what he wants, why you prolonging this for another 6 months? So it's like, have those conversations early. I've had friends say to me, like, it's too early to ask that. No. My rule been in college, like, no, we're going to kind of screen in preseason. We are not going to get to the motherfucking playoffs. And then I find out that you a bum and you should have been on the bench this whole time. And I kept putting you in. We not doing that. So it's also like taking that ownership of saying what you want. So say, for example, you start with the Sierra prayer. You pray this. You attract somebody and then you just gonna flake on what you already had prayed about? That doesn't make sense. And that's where
It depends.
That's where it gets funny, where it's like, this is what you prayed for. You were specific in your prayer. Now when you get here, you're going to act like you can't advocate for yourself and be bold in what it is that you want? That doesn't make sense. That's why that song is at the end of the album.
The prayer?
Yes, exactly. Not at the top, because the rest of it doesn't add up.
So I get what you're saying, and I think this is where things just get very, very murky, right? Because even we can say, I could be in a relationship with you and say, well, we're just friends, right? And my reflection of a friendship may not look like your reflection.
So we should be talking about that.
Of a friendship,
we,
right?
We shouldn't be acting like, I know your definition from social media, I know mine from a psychology book. No. Let's get on the same page. What's dating for you?
So you know what? My thing is, you're my man or you're not.
See, this is weird. And you just said you're not. Black and white. Okay, I told you she was lying 7 minutes ago, guys. How black and white is that?
I'm just saying, because that's where it just gets very slippery.
It doesn't have to, right? Everything in life allows us to be stretched, right? To kind of come out of what we're saying that we are or we're not going to do. It could still develop into something. I really commend people who don't want to just say, oh, we in a relationship tomorrow. Let's kind of fill this out.
Absolutely.
So we don't even kind of waste each other time too much. Let's don't even put these labels. Let's don't start introducing.
Yeah, but when you're feeling out, that's still not your person.
It's not,
right?
But that doesn't mean, again, this is what I prayed for. So if I'm clear on the truth of my power, this is what it is. I'm not going to pussyfoot at this point.
So you know, here we are, Summer Walker. She's sitting in her feelings of broken promises. What therapist, Sophia? How are we going to support Summer Walker as she's sitting in this pain of broken promises?
Oh, I'm saying what I just said. Summer, baby girl. Yeah. What's happening here? I'm asking off the basis.
Summer needs to
start with were these your expectations, or was this a broken promise?
Were these your intentions?
Yes.
Or am I right in assuming that this is a broken promise?
And that's what happens. That's what the point that I was saying about sometimes with women, we do that because you've been hanging out with this person for a month straight. You done went to the cookout and met some cousins and even a mother. Like, that's not everybody's thing. Like, oh, if you meet my mother, you somebody special. Or if you meet my grandmother. No, my grandmother meets everybody who I'm dealing with because I go to her house every day. So if you with me, that's where we going. So sometimes women get caught up in he moving like this. And my question always is, at the couch, off the couch, did he say that? Did he say that? No, but he bought me lunch every day. Did he say that you guys were in a relationship?
Yeah.
Did you ever ask for clarity? Or are you just going off for, you don't know this person, so you don't know if this is just what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, he buy me stuff. He has money. He can. So when he was
he don't give a fuck about his money.
Exactly. When he was in Neiman's, he picked you up something too. Like, but sometimes we spend so much time focusing on the action, and it's like, this seems like, this is my perception of what a relationship looks like. So I'm assuming that we are. Now you're not holding that up anymore, and I'm calling it broken promises. So I'm playing devil's advocate now. Are there people who flat out are saying things and not living up to it? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But there is a group of people who's getting this bad rep, and it's like, I never promised you that.
Yeah. I totally agree.
I didn't. We have been having a good time. One of my husband friends, when I say, if you date him, I could see how a person go crazy because his date is different. He will say, yo, what you doing tomorrow? Like, nothing, I'm pretty free for the weekend. Bet, let's go to Miami. And then I also got another flight for us to go to Paris. No lie, that's how he moves. He could have just been talking to this person a month prior. His dates are like that. He does what he likes to do. He enjoys traveling. He enjoys eating good. Mm-hmm. So anybody who's in his space at that time is going to experience that. And
it doesn't mean
and
that you're gonna be the
he'll
wife.
bring them on the trip with me. And it's like secretly saying like, well, since the best friend is married, he probably going to be married too. Oh, sis, I don't know. I have no idea. You got to have that conversation with him. But what I always say to him, watching him in action for 20 something years, is I could see how a person can run with what this looked like. And his claim of fame is, I said, that's not how I'm moving. That's not what I want.
So
I don't care if I've taken you on 5 trips literally in 6 months. That means nothing to me.
So for me, where it also gets murky is you have a group of people who put a lot of emphasis on words. And you put so much emphasis on words, and then the behaviors don't align with the words. Mm-hmm. Or there are no words and the behaviors are doing something, and you leave a person to decide what the behavior means. And that could go bad.
That could go bad.
That could go bad for either side.
That's what I was about to say.
Right?
But the person who now feel like they are brokenhearted or have these broken promises has to look and say like, I kind of made my own determination without seeking clarity. I got to sit with that.
Yeah. And so, and still, you can seek clarity and the person can say, no, this is how I feel. Because I didn't X, Y, and Z doesn't mean that I don't X, Y, and O. Mm-hmm. And then you have someone who still has to make a decision if they're gonna still gamble, that at some point in time, your words are going to start to manifest, and I'm going to feel that your words are true.
And that's when, that's the part with the boundaries, right? Like, I don't necessarily have to cut you off completely. I would be saying that to someone like, okay, now that we cleared up what's the expectation versus what is really a person just not standing in integrity and sticking to their word.
Yes, yes.
Or, okay, now that we dealt with you first, always starting with you first, now what? What do you want this to look like?
Yes.
Not what you think it should look like. What do you want? Do you still want to be connected to this person? Yes or no? If you say yes, now let's create boundaries that still allows you to get what you want, but you feel safe.
Yes.
Because that's ultimately what we want. We want to feel safe emotionally.
Yes.
So it's like,
everybody wants to feel safe.
Exactly. Even the other person.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
So it's like, okay, I do still enjoy this person's time and company when it happens, but it doesn't feel safe at this. So what do I need to create where it's still, I get both. Yeah. I get to have a balance, opposed to I don't have to dive all the way in to still stay connected.
Yeah.
And if you feel like, hey, I can't really do that, now the decision is a little bit, okay, now you have to go.
Now you gotta, now you have to make
because I can't handle that. But sometimes you have to try that to see if you can handle that. Because a person may say, I can, and then when they around them, it's like, oh, fuck that. I want him all the time, all the way to me. And then you now have the awareness of, yeah, I can't play this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know, Sophia, you already kind of mentioned reciprocate. So this was another one. And this one was the second triggering one for me, because I am.
Which one? You never said what was the first one.
4th baby mama.
Oh, okay.
I'm the second baby mama, and I'm my baby father favorite baby mother.
Oh. And I'm gonna give you this.
Thank you. Thank you. I work hard.
Yo, I was about to say some explicit shit. Like, do you tell us more?
And so, 4th baby mama. That one was that triggered me. The reciprocate.
Am I gonna have time to say one that resonate with me, or is it gonna be just your list?
This ain't my list. This is we're going on a journey.
I want some of this.
What's your? All right.
No, go to your reciprocate.
Okay, reciprocate. So reciprocate.
Where was that? You know, I'm.
It was like reciprocate was like up top.
Okay.
But reciprocate for me kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with broken promises. But to me, it speaks more to: are you getting what you need from a relationship? Mm-hmm. right? And so I was in this conversation the other day, and somebody brought up the term equally yoked. Right. And that is a colloquial term that people throw out there, and they throw it out there incorrectly. And so someone gave how you usually hear it. Do you usually hear it in the terms of like religion?
Yes.
And so that is not the main goal of that term.
Right.
And so a spiritual life coach who I really, really love broke it down and said it's about this thing back when you had cattle, and you had to yoke the cattle up to basically rein them in, and there's like this pushing and pulling that goes on, and basically when you're in a relationship, the push and the pull has to create balance.
Right.
And it's not about, and it's just about, are you and your person balanced? Right. And so a lot of people get caught up in, well, I do this for you and you don't do it for me.
Yeah.
And I always say to people that what you are getting out of a relationship is not going to equal what you are putting in. Very seldom is it going to equal what you're putting in.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you lunch yesterday, you got to get me lunch today. No, that's not probably how it's going to go.
Yeah. Teddy Pendergrass said he want a 50-50 love.
You think that? You believe in that?
No.
I don't believe in that either, right?
And if it is 50-50, it don't look the same. Like you really can't quantify it.
Exactly. You can't really quantify it. And so in the song Reciprocate, basically she is talking about she's not getting the things that she needs. She doesn't feel like she's getting time. She feel like she's getting these bags and these material things, but the other things that the minimals is, as she calls them, the bare minimum is what she called it, she can't get. And now again, here she is finding herself in a position of, what do I do? And the thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about this is just love languages. Right? And
yeah.
So I am not the gift. Like, you giving me gifts is not the thing that's going to make me want you. Mm-hmm. Right? It's just not. I can get my own gifts. I got friends like Soul Food like to buy gifts. I started my Christmas list. Can I send it to you?
Did you? No. Remember in my birthday card, you said that you was running out of ideas. So to tell you, I'm trying to tell you quickly before my 40th comes, and then you have to double the gift. So before your Christmas.
I did my gift.
No. Remember, you was like, hey, I'm running out of ideas. You're going to have to tell me this year. And I felt some type of way about that. Like, you never run out of ideas because you know me and you pay attention. So I'm confused by that. So keep your fucking Christmas list until I figured this last birthday out, because you're 2 months almost at another birthday,
shit.
Which is a big birthday. So
Oh, shit.
I'm going to be expecting a big gift.
Jesus.
No, but yes.
And so what people don't understand about that is twofold.
Yeah.
People need to be loved in the way that they receive love, right?
People need to be loved
in the way that they receive love.
Okay.
And so if I receive love by acts of service, then I need to receive acts of service to feel love.
Yeah, got it.
Right? Your gifts are not going to make me feel loved.
Yes, got it.
Right? And what happens in that sometimes when people's love languages are imbalanced, it leaves me feeling unloved, and then it leaves you feeling rejected for what you did give.
Or unappreciated and yeah.
Unacknowledged and such.
I haven't read Gary Chapman's book in a long time, but I remember him speaking a lot on just the miscommunication about any language, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if someone walks up, I could think I was fancy in a AP Spanish class, but if someone comes and just start fluently speaking Spanish, there's going to be some miscommunication, right? There's going to be a barrier. And what typically happens is, you know, we always talk about selfish isn't a negative word, right? But we are selfish beings because what we do is that we love people how we want to be loved, opposed to paying attention to how they need to be loved. So that's why I was repeating what you were saying, because I wanted to add that piece to it, right? So one, again, conversations. We don't have conversations, right? We just going with the flow so much. And we see that a year and a half, almost 2 years has gone by. I don't have time to play with you. I don't have time to waste, because I don't know if I'm being fucking quarantined and another year with a new strain of something like, so this is what I need to start communicating. And you don't necessarily have to use it in a Chapman language, but what do you like? Because again, it's just natural, particularly because the way men are wired. If they had done something 5 previous relationships and allegedly to them it worked, I'm not going to think you different. As much as I'm saying you special and you different, I'm going to do what's been working for me.
That's a problem.
But it's not. It's really just learning that they're different from us. Instead of us, we're like, I paid attention. I really realized that you liked the Ravens, so I done went and got you this framed up thing to put in your man cave and blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to understand, like, that man is not wired that way. So you have to be clear instead of thinking somebody's going to be a fucking psychic and be dissecting you all the time too.
But
so
ho. So that's where it gets tricky, though. It gets tricky because... And I talk to one of my male friends about this all the time, about how women are always saying, I'm different.
Yeah, right? Are you really, sis?
I'm different. See, I'm different because, right? And so
you are, right? You are. That's the uniqueness, right? We are.
We all are, but I think that so many people say that they're different and they're really not. Then it becomes a fucking mind game for dudes. Like, well, she's saying that gifts ain't her things, but
it worked for the same person who had this level of this or that. But that's why until you say something, they're gonna do what's been working.
And they are even just sometimes after you say something, they still do the opposite.
I mean, and but that's the grace that we give anyone that we are asking to change. Right? Because if I'm dealing with somebody 40, 45 years old, they probably have been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah.
And now I really actually may be doing something different. Now I'm saying what it is that I want and I need. And that is different. Like, oh, shit, wait a second. So now she expected me to revamp my whole program, which is complicated for most men. Because it's like, hey, wait a minute, I was on this path. And now you're telling me my path isn't good. So if my path isn't good, that means you're saying that I'm not good. So now it turns into this whole other thing that a man is dealing with. And they don't forgot what you requested. I'm going back to my reflex. And my reflex is gifts. And I'm trying to make them geared to things that I think you like. But you're doing a lot here. And that doesn't mean you are not supposed to advocate for what you want. But just understand, as human beings, we are different. We are very, very different. But most of the time, we are loving people how we want to be loved. And it's like, that person, that acts of service isn't his.
Yeah.
And it could be, and then that's so ideal if you find someone. The way life is, it's hard that you're going to find someone in their love lane. Yeah, both for your top 3 is always the same. But if it is, that makes it easier for you. But when you got to step outside of that, that's not necessarily your norm either.
And so my recommendation always is, because I acknowledge, and I do definitely give credit to, you can't make somebody change their methods, right? But at the end of the day, considering reciprocity, everybody has to give in a little bit. And
yes,
so,
absolutely.
if your person's love language is words of affirmation and you're not a words of affirmation person at all, you still got to find a way to work that in there.
It's true. And that's
along with your physical touch.
That's the hard part about relationships, right? Because your timing may be like, yo, I've already said this a few times and I'm still not quite getting it. And then on the other end, the person is saying, like, that's hard for me. Because again, we come to the table with our own stuff, regardless if we want to call it trauma package, whatever. We come with our stuff. So sometimes we don't even know what the blockage is that's keeping a person from doing certain things. But we are so like, okay, hey, I got to take care of me. This is what I want, which is understandable. So what becomes hard is, can I endure that they may not get there in this amount of time?
And there's that, we go back to the patience and the waiting.
She said, Father, you said love is patient, love is kind. I said, all right now. But it is, and many times we are not patient because, again, that person comes with their own stuff, and they felt like they stayed somewhere too long before, and they are adamant that they are not going to do that in this relationship. So within this month, if you don't do this, this ain't.
It's a whole clusterfuck, right?
It is. It really is, and it's very challenging.
It is very challenging. I think, however, balance is challenging.
Exactly, right? Because I'm gonna drive this in that everything kind of comes back to you. So you seek in reciprocity and balance, but that's something you're still struggling with individually. So it's kind of like, how is that supposed to really look in this relationship? And that's something you're still working on. Sometimes, again, those expectations. And a friend of mine said to me before, so am I not supposed to have no expectations? That's not what I'm saying. Make sure that they're realistic. Because again, you want this person to come to the table with, I need to feel like there's some reciprocity here. Cool. But this is something that you've been working on for the past decade of your life, and think that this is supposed to just coexist. You may not even know how to handle that level of balance because you're still haven't gotten it with you yet.
Yeah.
So it gets tricky with that too. So that's why I feel like a lot of your work allows you to have a different level of patience and grace. Not saying, acceptance equal tolerance. People don't understand that. No, I'm accepting that this is still hard for you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to tolerate you not giving me anything that I need to.
Yes. I like that. Before we get to the end, and maybe you will be the end, what's your hitter?
Oh, man. I didn't know I was going to get in it. Wait, hold on.
I hope it's this last one.
Oh, You Don't Know Me.
Oh.
Yeah. So not many of the songs did much for me. Not like I enjoyed it, but it didn't trigger like old stuff per se.
Right.
But it was
You Don't Know Me?
You Don't Know Me was one that did hit home, because what happens is, in relationships that I have been in, so I'm just this person that
different.
I'm really fucking different. Let me find something. I can't find something. I can't. So I wasn't even going to say that I was different. What I was going to say is that because I struggle with perfectionism, I'm always on a quest of evolving and just learning different things about me. And there are a lot of times I project that on other people, expecting them to change and evolve at some place too. But more so recently, it's been about me. And because of that, I feel like sometimes I'll get boxed in with loved ones, period. Not even just a spouse, just loved ones, period. Like, because you were this, it's like, hey, I'm not that anymore. And not saying that it's not available. I'm never going to say that. Like, oh, I'm never going to slap the shit out of a stranger who's acting crazy to me or my kids. I can't say that. However, that wouldn't be my first line of defense anymore. But say people who have known me for 20 years, they're going to give me that. There was a situation that took place in like a birthday trip, and my husband put something in the group about Sophia's taking over or something like that. And I got 5 calls starting at 8 o'clock. First of all, these people so-called know me shouldn't call me at 8 o'clock, right? But called me at 8 o'clock. That first person was gentle, kind of did some fluff conversation, and then was like, hey, so there's a change in leadership? I'm like, now, mind you, I saw it at 5:36 in the morning, so it was in my head, who's going to be the first to call? And then literally one didn't call at all. And then every call after was, what did you do? That was so hurtful. That was so hurtful. What you did to my brother, what you did to, and I was like, well, damn, nothing. Nothing. He's just overwhelmed with this group of fucking people and just got passed over. Like, but it was that. So that you don't know me is not just for my husband. It's for the people in my life who just won't give people room to grow. Like, and she was saying things more along the lines of just like a relationship, but that triggered that for me. Like, sir, ma'am, like, I don't do that anymore. I don't like that. Even down to love languages. I told someone that it's important that it don't have to be monthly, but once a year, revisit your love languages.
Yeah.
Because what I thought gifts were, I enjoy gifts. I enjoy sentimental gifts. I enjoy that, right? But that's not my love language. But people